Check 1, 2. Check, 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 check. Check, check, check. I swear I'm not supposed to be here on a Sunday night. I'm hoping, I think we're... Good evening. Just a moment here. I got a few things I got to do. Apologize for how I look right now. It's the weekend. I hope that you were able to control yourself over the weekend. I can see that a lot of FinTwit could not. FinTwit couldn't, right? I could see that YouTube could not control themselves over the weekend. I can also see that the purveyors of fear porn and doom were able to keep some of you awake all weekend. I was on Reddit today or this evening, and I went to all the stock market subreddits. You got it. They spread that doom all weekend, didn't they? They spread it all over the place. They have posts with thousands of comments on the front page of Reddit. We might wake up on Monday, Sunday, or Saturday. End of the world. You bought it. You chased the hole on Friday rather than picking apples, walking through a corn maze with your buddy, your friends, rather than drinking hard cider, rather than carving pumpkins with your family. You consumed it. You took it all in, didn't you? Some of you didn't. There's got to be some of you that are still believers, right? Others, though, woo. I didn't do that this weekend. And I think when I left you on Friday, I told you not to either. That's right. Did we get our crash over the weekend? I was a little shocked at comparisons saying this is Black Friday. I even searched it up, and I couldn't find any Black Friday in history where we were down a couple, 2-3%. Not one single one. I couldn't find a Black Monday that was the same as this. As a matter of fact, in recent memory, I found a whole bunch of red one-day candles that completely reversed. I found the exact opposite of what was portrayed over this weekend. I'm shocked. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little shocked at some of the inability to not try to capitalize on making money off your fear. Number one, of course. And then number two, the comparisons to something that has no comparison to anything else in history when you get one of those days. We haven't had that day yet. We haven't had a Black Friday. We have not had a Black Monday by the standards of any prior history. So I was a little taken aback this weekend with comparisons to some of those dates. And not only that, they chased the whole crowd on Friday. If you see anybody out there in your walkabout saying, I got all the puts and I hope that you did too, thank you for your contribution for the rest of us. Just tell you right now. Thank you. Now, of course, this weekend I had a decision to make on Friday. Am I going to let this worry me, panic me, or anything like that? Or am I going to go out and live my weekend as usual? And I had to think about a couple other things, which is what we've been discussing here. We did not come into the beginning of the quarter retesting the trend. Instead, we traded higher. And you're looking for one of two things in these new quarters: a place to buy a dip for the quarter or a place to hedge for the quarter. And instead, we went to the upside. And we traded up, and we discussed on highs a few things. We don't want to have 20/20 hindsight, do we? On the first thing we want to remember is that we said you hedge. Be hedged, roll hedges, whatever it is you need to do. You knew that I was trying to wait to roll my hedges until we hit, I think, 675, 680. But why was I trying to min-max that too? Which was that we knew and know that there are and were sellers at 675 and 680. We also know that we used Marco as the heel, but we knew that it wasn't him. I showed you who it was before it happened. We did a private stream last week. I showed you, right? I said, this is what the CTAs are doing. This is what the COTs are doing. This is what vol control gang is doing. And we know that the spot up, vol up trade is buying dips lower to trade to this 675, 680. But that you couldn't even pick up a new trade until you get above 6,800 or 680 on SPY, 680 on SPX. We know they're there. I even saw unusual whales capitalizing on some new account that took a short on Friday for crypto. And I was left scratching my head on that one too, because I thought to myself, at every time we've approached 674, 675-ish, right in that area, that sellers have come in hard and heavy. You know that there are other sellers out there. I know, you know. And if we get a plunge, one of those short sellers would have been right? So I found that comical too. And of course, everyone picks up on it like nobody knew. And I found that ironic too. That I was reading one of those Unusual Whales posts on Reddit, and it had, I think, 4,000 comments tonight. Front page of Reddit. And all I could think to myself was, who's fucking stupider? Who? The people that are pushing that narrative, or the people that are consuming it? Or are the people that are pushing that narrative, are they trying to capitalize on the sizzle and not the context? Or is it the people that are consuming it and thinking that that was legit? Of course not. There's sellers up there. We know that. We knew that. It wasn't unknown information. It was known information. There was something else that we knew coming into this quarter, which was there's two setups for a correction, one in October and one in November. We know that already. We already know that. There's something else that we knew about October and November. It's been discussed in this show nonstop, right? You've heard it from me how many times? If we see the Kansas City sell lot on a Monday or a Friday or whatever day of the week, doesn't really matter. But you get that big red bar down one day in this window, that might be signs of a correction. We did get that. We got that on Friday, right? We got the big red bar down, and it went underneath the daily trigger. That's all we know. That's it. And we're kind of expecting it, right? To an extent. We know that it's there. And that did happen on this past Friday. The door was open also for seasonality, right? There's still a small window in seasonality for the divergence between the last, I think, 5 or 6 years, the most current recent history of seasonality and where we're trading right now, right? There's a divergence. It was spun like a week or two ago, too, on public from a lot of news organizations that we had passed that window. And I'd showed you on Tuesday's private stream that we had, in fact, not passed that window for that divergence to come back together again, right? In seasonality. So then when the sell came on Friday, there was a lot of panic, wasn't there? And what did we do on Friday? We used our rules, right? Not an easy thing to do. David AMS and I I tried to buy the dip, I think, once or twice, trying to mark a bottom, and then quickly got out of trade. One big trade, I got out of it, and then I ended up buying the bottom and the close on Friday. And I even said to you on Friday, we're probably going to sell. As a matter of fact, I said, don't buy the daily trigger here yesterday on Friday. And then I said to you, it's more than likely we're going to have a lot of doom after the bell today. You're going to see some big down moves. And we did, didn't we? We saw them into the close or after the close on Friday, waiting for Trump to have a presser at 5 p.m. And it looked pretty gnarly, didn't it? It doesn't look pretty, does it? And frighten anybody. It even frightened me in my position. Now you got to remember too that for myself, I'm in a hedge, and still it's into November. It doesn't print unless we trade 636 or lower. So if we were to have a Black Monday or a Black Weekend or Black Friday weekend or whatever the fuck they're calling it, even if my trade burned, my hedge would print to pay my long. Now my hedge is burning. It's on fire. It's been on fire for months now. So I either need that to print or I need to get long. So if you're hedging the highs coming into this quarter and now you're looking for a low to buy for the quarter, the only thing left here would be, is this the top of the market? And we don't know the answer to that yet. We don't know. But I always tell you to follow your rules, don't I? And one of those rules is what? You back test the hourly trigger and you mark it. And if we get a new high, we can take it. If not, what do? We get out of it, right? Or not even get out of it. You take the trade. If it turns down to the downside, you have your stops. You get out of that trade. We didn't see that back test on Friday, did we? And then we came down to the daily trigger, and I said to you, don't buy it. This doesn't look like the price action to mark even a bottom on the daily trigger. Once we got to the daily trigger, you could see there was no bottom there. Now, fascinatingly, let me show you this really quick. This is ES, but this is the same chart as SPY. Normally, when we come down, even into these, excuse me, even when we come into these daily triggers, typically we'll see a quick recovery, right? We did not see that V-shaped recovery. We did not see it, did we? We start blasting down into the close on Friday, and it got ugly, didn't it? Not good, is it? No marked bottoms, nowhere to buy the dip. I did try to buy this right here and got out. So as soon as they're blasting down, so then I bought the actual bottom here on Friday. But what happens here? The panic takes over, right, to this close. Hey, we're going to drop after the closing bell here. It's going to look like a mess. And it did, didn't it? Looks like messy, didn't it? We were talking in the Discord on Friday about chasing the hole or selling the hole. Oh, man, if I had just left those puts on into the bell, I'd be rich on Monday, right? And I think my commentary in the Discord on Friday was, let's wait until Monday to see if that's true or not. As of right now, it's not looking so good, is it? I think on Friday I said to you, do not get on social media and let this eat you alive. And that's not just bulls. Bears, too. Move's been made. The move is done. And we need to find out more information from here. So we always talk about when we come down to any trigger. I don't care if it's the hourly. I don't care if it's the 5 minute, the 1 minute. I don't care if it's the daily, the weekly, or the monthly. You mark your low. Mark your low. And you need another one for continuation. And these are the rules that we practice, right? These are the tools that we use. When I say tools and rules, I don't mean indicators, any of that kind of stuff. I mean, I write a book and I say this works and that doesn't work and this works and this doesn't work with an edge. I did find it slightly comical because had we instead gap down here, historically, we would go vertical into Monday close, probably to a new all-time high. High probability of that. Or at least attempt it. I kid you not. Like vertical. Myself, I was kind of hoping for a gap down tonight. I was hoping for a gap down into, I don't know, 9:30 in the morning, even with my long position, because I knew that would still print and bigger, and I knew that I could more than likely buy. I was thinking about it over the weekend. I'm like, if we gap down over the weekend, I probably would buy about $10,000 in 0 dates calls. And I was thinking in my mind, how much could I turn that into on Monday or Monday at 4 p.m.? My thought was probably 100K, maybe more. And I mean, like, buy the bell and don't close those fucking things until 4 p.m. That's how confident I was this weekend. So I had to consider myself over this weekend, what are the most likely outcomes on Sunday and Monday? And what I was force-fed with a tube down my throat was, nothing but bad. And the only thing I could think to myself was, well, if we gap down into Monday, that would actually be the best outcome for bulls because it will be immediately bought. Immediately. There will be nothing but buy. And more than likely, we'll go back to retest all-time highs within 1 to 3 days. Straight vertical. The second outcome would be we open flat. So forget this price action right here. This is ES right now, but forget this price action totally. The second most likely outcome, if we don't do this gap down and crank, second most likely outcome would have been open flat and slowly trade up over the next 3 or 4 sessions. This is a slow grind higher. And either some kind of a sell action right here to the downside. If you look at these sellers right here, had we woken up here, or not woken up, but tonight and tomorrow and done the slow fade up over the course of 3 or 4 sessions, I would expect the sell down. Even if over the course of 3 and 4 sessions we could not get above this high right here, I would expect the sell down. The best outcome for bulls over this weekend, believe it or not, was to gap down. I would have then expected a giant move all day on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and at least trade that. I didn't get my wish. As of right now, I haven't. This would have printed me more money than I can count. Be rich. As of right now, we've traded up right here. Scene of the crime. That's not the scene of the crime. We also discussed last week the buyers over here. This is your September 17th buyers. And why do they matter? I've been talking about these guys for how long now? Weeks. The whole basis of your trade is the September 17th FOMC rate decision buy. And why is that? Why is that? It's the rate cut trade, right? It is also the inflation trade. All of this up price action here is based on inflation, not merit. That's what it's based on. And on Friday, when Trump came out and said, we're going to do this and we're going to do that with China, that brings back the question of rate cuts. Why? Because corporate profits are now in line. Non-financial corporate profits are now in line. Corporations and producers at this point have absorbed tariff inflation. In general, they have. You don't have to believe me. I've already shown it to you. I've shown you the data, not what your thoughts, feelings, and your own anecdotal evidence is. I've shown you, too, that though the consumer can probably handle a little bit more inflation, even from new tariffs, that if you look at corporate profits in particular, non-financial corporation profits in particular, they really cannot absorb those tariffs any longer. Trump also, as of late, wanted to make up with Canada, wanted to make up with the Middle East, and the hope that he was going to want to make up with Z at APEC. Just not escalating trade war is important. Not escalating or reigniting uncertainty is important. And there comes a time where these corporations cannot absorb these things. So one of two things are the outcome of this if we get more tariffs, which is corporate profits will decrease if they continue to absorb new tariffs to a point where it'll impact their earnings. Number two, if they do not absorb those new tariffs from China, inflation will rage. Not just the new cyclical inflation rearing its ugly head that nobody wants to admit to, but is in the fucking data. It means that corporations will, what? Attempt again to pass along, or attempt this time to pass along, tariffs. So if you have natural cyclical inflation and now actual tariff inflation, that begs the question of if we can get any more rate cuts in the future. We might actually switch to rate hikes or pausing. And that calls into question these buyers over here. September 17th buyers. Now, of course, Trump came out and tacoed a little bit over the weekend, didn't he? He actually tacoed on Friday a slight bit, then he tacoed even more today. And you may be wondering what I mean by this, and I'm going to show it to you right now, what this trade is. David AMS on Friday and I had a conversation after the closing bell. And I want to show you a few things here. If this, in the top right-hand side of your chart, if you have the US dollar, and you switch to the euro, so this is the euro. We've already hit our 585 up here. Do you see that? We're smashing down into 562. The 11th, 25th, and the 17th is over here. And this shows you what? That the dollar is weaker. That's what it shows you. The dollar is weaker. You look at the S&P 500 in Europe, it's doing just fine. The American US dollar SPY S&P 500 Qs, it's a pump on what? A dollar that's worth less. And we're coming into earnings right now. So if the market is going to go up, it's going to be for one of two reasons. It's either going to be for inflation or it's going to be for merit. Coming into an earnings season with lowered expectations, and we get a tweet from Trump calling into question inflation. So these buyers over here are still good, aren't they? In Europe, they're not gone yet. This entire move down is based upon those fears. Whether you know it or not, I don't care. We've talked about it ad nauseum at this point. Oh, fascinatingly, where is it at? Where is it? What are we looking for here? For some reason I can't find it here. I'm looking for my that's not it. Right here. And I can't find this chart. I don't know why. Maybe it got deleted. Possible. What I wanted to show you was that fascinatingly, the financial world financial stocks are staying up, not the non-financial ones. I don't know why I can't find it for you right now, but here it is, though, right here. Now, there's some important information here that needs to be talked about. Give me a second here. We'll show it on ES. Better because it's futures on weekend. There's some information here we need to know. Do you notice how he came right back with the taco time? These buyers, right? In Europe, they're still fine. The euro is fine. This trade is still intact. There is no unwind yet. The same holds true for the rest of the world with this September 17th buy group. So if you're looking for that unwind, how they wrap trades in the U.S., do we unravel tech? Do we unravel the S&P 500? It has not happened yet around the world. That is not a good sign for you if you're a bear. The trap or the trade remains intact in the U.S. Now, there's some key information here I want you to think about. Don't want you to think about these sellers right here. We already know that they're there. We knew that last week. We knew that on the 1st. They're going to try to sell, and they did, right? What did I call this selling? Do you remember? I called it spite. That's spite selling. I even posted on Twitter about a week ago. I said every time I see this selling, this reminds me of spite. I bet you that guy that was opening shorts was doing the same thing every other day, too. Had we dropped here, here, or here, or here, or here, you would have found one of those same sellers trying to sell crypto. How did they know? That they've been trying for a week. S-P-I-T-E, spite. Fuck you, I'm selling it. Now, there was some selling before this week, wasn't there? Remember that group over here, this rate cut group? They tried to sell it here, too. We always talk about if the way is not higher, it's lower. And if the way is not lower, it's higher. And this group of buyers here said, woo, rate cuts. This group up here said, fuck you, no. And as soon as this group said, oh, no, sorry, bro, we're here. We mooned, didn't we? And we were looking to trade on, this is ES, but we were looking to trade what? SPY 675, 680. Before a corrective move, but that we should expect a corrective move. Now, in that corrective move, we expected to trade what? Not this move here, not that move there. We expected to clean out the October 1st buyers. Check the month, right here. We were expected to check the month. So let's look at that real quick. This is the 1st. This is cash market. We're not going to try to pretty this up. I'm not going to tell you it's down here. It isn't. It's up here in cash market. Want to check this? That's much more significant, isn't it? This is Trump painting the tape. On Friday, I also spoke to you about being experienced with Trump painting the tape too, right? I would enter a position on Friday. I wouldn't sleep all weekend. I would pace. By Monday morning, the market would reverse most of the losses. I'd be so tired that I wouldn't even want to hold the trade long any longer. I just wanted out. And the market would go on to moon all day long while I was trying to catch up on sleep. That was my experience during COVID. A little bit more severe than this, too, I'll remind you. Circuit breakers. Just barely not scratching the circuit breaker, then more down after the bell. Bloodbath all weekend, minus 500 points on a Saturday and Sunday weekend Wall Street. And then all was gone on Monday morning. And this was up and down. It wasn't just down. It was up, too. Presser in the morning. 8 a.m., 8:30 in the morning on Monday morning. 9:30 opening bell, everything back to normal. Like nothing happened. Now, this group of buyers here in the 1st is very important. This group of buyers here in the 17th is important. There's some more information that we need here, though. We need to know about these sellers right here. These guys are important. These guys are not important. They're not. This group is important. Not important. Important. Remember the basis of the trade. The basis of the trade is that we have no more uncertainty with tariffs. We have no more laddering escalation of trade war. We are cutting rates in September and probably at least 2 more this year and possibly more next year. Jerome sees the neutral rate at 2. Moran sees the neutral rate at 0.5. If you've read anything, followed Moran at all, he is the mouthpiece of what? The White House. And their plan for a new economy and a new Fed and a new markets and all of this. De-dollarization, you name it. And they've even admitted there's danger along the way, but that this is their plan. And this is the first step in their plan, rate cut. And the idea is that we're going to create a cheaper dollar. And more rate cuts would bring that same thing. And if that's the case, you're going to get what? Higher prices. In kind of a good way. And there's a window for it. If wages keep up, if the economy keeps pumping, we're good to go. But the things that Donald Trump said on Friday, though, brings back that fear. It puts companies back in caution, puts consumers back in caution, questions more rate cuts. Now, if Trump comes back and he says, well, maybe we're not going to do that. Trump's new tariffs do not take effect for an entire month. APEC has not happened yet. Huang has the next conference right around APEC. Trump is now tacoing a little bit. So this trade ain't dead, is it? The price action's telling you at this moment it's not dead. To the upside. We reverted right back to the basis of this trade tonight. So the market is saying, well, it's not quite, we don't have the, Trump didn't do the tariffs to be implemented this weekend. He gave it a month. He's starting to taco now. So we got to start thinking about dates. We got to start thinking about if those tariffs come to fruition in the next month. Does the U.S. and China kiss and make up? All of a sudden, they're having a meeting together. All of a sudden, they're having phone calls together. So you can't quite price this stuff in, can you? We're not quite in real money selling yet, are we? And what else happened in this down move on Friday? We hedged. I didn't hedge. I was already hedged. But a whole bunch of people did. A whole bunch of people chased that fucking hole into the close. Wrong place, wrong time. That actually makes the market slightly more supportive too, doesn't it? I've got a cup that was full in call gamma last week. On Tuesday, I showed you that, right? I said, look at all that call gamma over there. So the cup is full. I said, look at all that put gamma over there. This was on Tuesday. You can go back and look at the stream. Did it in the morning. Private stream. For members. Community. So this cup over here is empty. That cup's full. Traded up in the beginning of the quarter. We should be hedging and then looking for a quarterly low to buy to print. Pretty nice down move here, right? We can fill this cup up a little bit more and make this cup fuller than this cup. We can probably then go higher. This cup is dealers. Do I want to pay these guys or these guys? And if we don't have real money selling, I'm going to go back and forth like we normally do. Now, there is one problem here. When we are in any OPEX cycle, it is very difficult to break the grip on the market from trades that have already been placed. The only way that you can break normally your OPEX cycle is a big fat red bar down like this. You can break the trajectory for a monthly OPEX if you get the big red bar down one day. It's the only way you can do it. Otherwise, it's up and to the right or down and to the right. And I want to show you something if I can. Whew. Look at that. Go, baby, go. It's like nothing happened. I want to show you something important here. We had very similar price action in April on the inverse. And it's kind of sloppy there, but here is OPEX. On the inverse, in April, we had an up move. It was violent. Here's the 8th, 9th, 10th. The 10th was Friday. This would be what we did on Friday. But notice that we came back to the scene of the crime. And we did it again at the end of the month. We ended up inversing and going the other way here. So I want to explain this to you like this. You have OPEX. And you got OPEX and you got expiration right in here. And you got the end of the month. And you got a bunch of tech earnings. I'm going to make this quick here. I'm not going to spend an hour going over this part with you. I already did this with you last Friday morning, I think, or Tuesday. So you have the whipsaw down, right? And you're going to get another chance to do this, either in here or in here, to check. You're still coming down, even if we go up here, you're going to check that. If they break through it, and you get that new low, we're fucked, aren't we? But it's not yet. So you want to be thinking about two things here. On ES in particular, you are looking for rejections on the daily trigger. You are looking for rejections on 6,700 or 670 on SPY. It's a nice round number. 670, 680, 660. I like the fives too, but not quite like I like the zeros on a major trend reversal. On a major trend reversal, zeros. So you want to be thinking about this one right here as now resistance. And you want to be thinking about these sellers right here and not these sellers. Because of what? If the way is higher or the way is lower, right? If the way is lower, this is the same gang as this gang, right? Now, I want to discuss with you behavior in the stock market over the coming days. If you see the stock market fail to trade above here fast, and I mean fast, 1, 2, 3 days, maybe. I want to see something like this. If you're bullish and you think that's bottom, it should be like ping, pong, ping with a new high. Fast. It doesn't need a new all-time high. It just needs to do that right there. On ES, not SPY, I'll show it to you, but on ES, if you see ES go above 6755, a fucking penny, the bears are fucked. If you see a retracement that's like bammo, 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 they're fucked. If you see us doing this bullshit, right? Sideways, dragging ass, stalling, I am looking lower. And we'll discuss where that is in a minute. And that's not bearish either. It's actually extremely bullish. If we come up here and fade, 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 and miss that tick, I'm looking lower. Now, the stock market goes up and it goes down. And it does not go down in a fucking straight line. And it does not go up in a straight line. There's a constant series of inflection points. And this drop does not match any other fucking drop for a Black Monday or a Black Friday at all. It's normal. We've seen this. Here's SPY. I've seen these nasty candles. There's one right here. And a doozy, right? There's a few days here. Here's a big one. That's not good, right? There's a big one right there with a recovery. See how quick they recovered this? Recovery, back down again, but new high. New high. Here's a beautiful one right here. I think we're just talking about that one. Look at that big one right there. We actually gapped down into Monday, straight vertical. Wish we had done that, believe it or not. Back down again, told no. Oh my God, it's going to crash. Nope, I told you we took this group out right here. Back up again, back up again. Now we have another risk-off type scenario like this in November, believe it or not. I've shown you that, right? October and November offer opportunities for a major correction. You know, so imagine that you're back up here. And maybe you're back down there, but you're not done with all-time highs up here. This is your earnings season and all that. And then they do it again in November. I'm going to do it again in November. You're going to do it again in November. So you've got this danger over here, but maybe not today. Even if you'd gap down, you'd probably go right back up here, take all this out, go up there, take some new all-time highs, and then you have another window for it in November. In November. And even then, when you're thinking about this kind of stuff, like, well, wait a minute, Cap, they were saying Black Monday or whatever, right? So maybe we go back up there, do that kind of stuff, come back down here for the November correction. Your weekly trigger is now going higher. What is that? Why is that? What does that matter? Because they're closing the fucking door on you in the 500s. Maybe the 30s. There's the 30s. It could take them 2 months to even get us to the 30s. And even then in November, you have to contend with 690 and 700 into the end of the year. So when you're going over here and you start looking at months, not weeks, but months. Now you're talking about coming up here, trading the 80, coming back down here maybe. Still up. There's your 700. I've told you that this might not be the best low for you. I said that you'd probably have one, maybe two lows you could buy. You're heading up into 700. You get a chance here to hedge. You get a chance here to buy. Maybe you have another buy over there, but both cases are what? I'm hedged. My outlook is higher. And whatever opportunities they give me to get long into the end of the year, I'll take them. For some of you, you might want to wait until November. But it ain't going to matter at the end of the year, is it? And you just got a gift. The low that was over here is so fucking close to that one. Is it really going to matter? Trading 653 in the bell down here on Friday, 636. Your outlook is 700. I guarantee you if we were to trade 700 at the end of the year, 720, I think it's 7, but none of you will give a flying fuck nor think about the drop on this past Friday, nor the November drop. But all along the way, you're going to succumb to emotions, succumb to the bearerists, succumb to the doomers. Even if you get a correction like this, you're back up here, you're back down there, and you're just cranking. You're succumbing to them. Also in the background, we're cooling off some of that topping action on monthly and quarterly. This helps the bulls. It helped the bulls in the springtime. When we went down in February and April, I said to you, said what? Well, in February, I was like, we're pretty close to a fucking top. In the past 2 years, I've said to you, if we hit a bubble, we're going to need to cool the market off as we enter and go up into the bubble. When you enter a bubble, I want to show you what it looks like, what the behavior of it is. Hold on here. What is going on here? Hold on here. When you enter a bubble or are going to enter a bubble, the price action, we have a historical example of this. I want you to remember this. We don't have any major corrections below the daily trigger. We keep it nice and clean. We have another example of this. 1996. Look at how clean this is. Watch closely. This is very important, this part of the show. This is probably the most important part of the show you could be watching right now. Do you see how clean this is? 1995. 1995. We come into 1996 here, and we have some moments of fear. Break below, but violence to the upside. Notice how we're staying on the daily trigger? And then something else that's important. This is 96. We actually begin to encounter more volatility in the market. Weekly trigger, fear, big drawdowns, but also large upside. 11% drawdown, 26% upside. We were given a taste of this in February, April. Look ahead, we might be doing that again. So look at how clean that is. Look at how clean that is. This is why we follow rules. We mark bottoms. If it looks like it's going to go back up, we take it. We have a seatbelt on. We have money to buy. Seatbelts are hedges. We're ready to buy dips. This isn't a bear market. It goes up and up and up and up and up. Are you ready for that? Are you ready for that? How many bears have told you they just wanted a pullback or a correction? And now they're telling you they want a fucking crash? A bear market? The top is in, the bubble's pursed? You're going to have to manage yourself listening to that diarrhea. You know, we do every time we do this, I'm going to have to listen to this garbage. I just want to pull back so I can get long. Liar. I just want to pull back so I can get long. Liar. It's going to crash, bro. Well, you just said you wanted to pull back. There it is. I just want to pull back. Oh, there, it crashed. It's going to crash now. No, bro. You got your pullback. We haven't entered a bubble yet, I'm telling you. This is when you enter the bubble. You can see it right here. This is the entry into the bubble. This is where we are. You saw me post this on Twitter a week ago. 2 weeks ago I posted that, right? And then Dan Ives came out on Friday and said, this is not 1999, this is 1996. You're going to have to deal with this as a trader and an investor until the top is actually in. Or you're going to get annihilated. If you're a bear and if you're sell side, you're going to get annihilated. If you're a bull and you're too fearful, you're going to miss out. What you need to do is follow your rules and only your rules. Has the daily trigger crossed the weekly trigger yet? No. Is it risk off yet? No. Has a break of the daily trigger had a new low yet? No. Bunch of no's. It is very important for you as an investor and trader to manage your fear. It is very important for you on sell side to recognize where you are and be tactful until we become sell side. And we have not become sell side. We are in buy the fucking dip until told otherwise. You can see where we go risk off. A brief moment of risk off right here, but then we go back risk on again. You have to be able to go back long again. No risk off behavior here. No risk off behavior here. Risk off behavior, but risk on again. Risk off behavior, risk on again. So if I come back to you next year and I say to you, it's risk off. And then I say to you a week later, a month later, we're back on risk on again, bro. You have to be able to get back on. You have to. For duration. Why? Because we don't come back. When they tell you things like, well, we'll be back there anyways. I'm just going to keep selling it every time until it works. We didn't come back over here. There is no coming back. There was no coming back. We didn't come back from over here. We came back here, but that's not where this is. This is the crash of the tech bubble. And we don't come back to it even in the great financial crisis. Well, I guess we did in the great financial crisis, but that was our boy over there that didn't go to prison. We did come back a little bit. To where, though? This is the entry into the bubble right here. Let's look at it. This looks same price action, right? We even back tested over here just to make sure we're going to enter the bubble. I want you to think about Mike Burry. I do. I want you to think about Mike Burry. Mike Burry should be in prison. Prison. Why? Well, he made his investors all this money. Finally. In 2008 and 9, bro. Yeah, but he didn't make any money this time. He didn't make any of that money. He also could have easily seen risk off. Right here, you can see it. Price crossed below the monthly trigger. The daily trigger and the weekly trigger crossed. For his investors, can you imagine the literal incompetence and negligence to not make his investors, even in a fraud market, money to the upside until price broke the monthly trigger with the daily and weekly crossing it? Can you imagine that? Can you imagine Mike Burry not buying this down here and longing this market until price broke below the what? Monthly trigger. The daily and the weekly crossed right here. So can you imagine not longing that? Can you imagine not longing that? And I'll be honest with you. Had we not gotten the second leg down, which started right here, he would be in prison. If we had turned around over here, that guy would be in prison. Not only did he not make money here for his clients, he didn't make money here for his clients. So I got to beg that question to you. When you say things like, we'll be back there, bro. Well, in this case, we didn't get back there for 20 fucking years. 20. This is 1996. This is 2008. To where? Where did you bring it back to, Barry? So you must be long with duration. You must have a seatbelt on right now because we're entering a bubble potentially. You have to take the opportunities to get long where you can. Be hedged. And until we go risk off, you're looking for dips to buy. Have we crossed the monthly trigger with price? No. Has the daily trigger crossed the weekly trigger? No. Has price and the daily trigger and weekly trigger crossed the monthly trigger? No. Now, there is some intraday risk off, isn't there? That price underneath here doesn't look good. Let's look at this last example right here. Here's the last example. This is the last one, right? A big fat red bar down here. What did they do? They ramped it up on your ass again. They gave buyers another chance down here to buy it, and they ramped it up on your ass again. Now, in this case, we bloodbathed. But there's still a ton of fucking trading in here, isn't there? And this price action does not match. This price action does it. That price action doesn't look the same. Velocity was not the same here as it is right now. And this is not the same place that we've been. Now, this down move here in April and February. It's probably likely if we move forward. If we really do enter the bubble, I don't know if we do or don't. They can pull the plug at any time. And we have to look for that. But until then, it hasn't happened yet. I mean, just imagine you're over here doing this shit up here, right? Come down here and all of a sudden we're trading 700 end of the year. And they're telling you about all kinds of fucking scary stories that have nothing to do with being long and looking for dips to buy and hedging in case we do crash on these highs to protect your investments. The shit that I read and watched, I didn't even watch them. I just scrolled through all the videos. And then I was on Fintuit and I saw all the bullshit they were fucking smearing. I go on Reddit, I see all the bullshit they're smearing. And none of it has anything to do with being long. A bunch of you are long from here. Some of you are long from way down there. You're given an opportunity to get long and you don't take it. Up here, great. We're up here, Cap. Let's get long, bro. So bullish. I'm like, no, you got to look for fear. You got to look for pullbacks. We're in a bull market. Price is not under the daily trigger. The daily trigger is not crossing the weekly trigger. The weekly trigger is not crossing the monthly trigger. Price is not down here. None of it. And yet we're talking about Black fucking Fridays and Black fucking Mondays and fucking top of the market. We've been in a bubble 17 times larger than the bubble in 96. We are not 17 times larger. They gave you incomplete information. That's what they did. That's what they always do. So let's take a look and see what we can expect to happen. We know about Trump. We know about inflation. We know about China. We know I think you guys know all that stuff, right? I've said it nonstop. When you get these candles like this, it's in a short-term basis bearish. Short-term. Not long-term. It's short-term. Not mid-term. Not long-term. You want to watch this level right here. We are on sell side, but not that bad. We'll do this with ES. It's easier to do it right now with where we are. The first thing you want to watch is this one right here. Let me go to the right here. First thing you want to watch is that high right here, the first red candle. Right there. Right there. You don't care about any of this right now, just this. The next one that you want to watch is right here. I'll do this for you at SPY. You'll get a SPY expectation. This is all you need to watch right now. That's it. That simple. That's it. I don't care if we had gapped down. I don't give a shit. We're going up. Now, if we begin to roll or stall, or if price action were to look, slow, we'll look lower together. We'll sell this together. The first sell candle, you're not going to figure it out. You're not going to know when it happened. The only thing that you can do is look to buy a dip on pullbacks. It's why we buy the hourly trigger. It's why we buy the daily trigger. And if we blast through and don't see the marked bottom, we don't buy it. The only thing you know right now is that you have to look for two places, or three. First one's the daily trigger. I'll give you that one too. Here's the other one right here. $668, $82.50. More than likely it's $6,700. That's kind of it right here. We'll look for some stalling over here. And if we do stall, we'll sell it. And I'll show you that bottom target here in just a moment. If you see, though, that we rip faces off quickly here, that ain't bearish. Wouldn't be like that. It would be like, nonsense like this, but and you would have the hourly trigger come back underneath the half-hour trigger, right? And we're off and running again. Like nothing ever happened. If we begin to reject all this shit down here, can't back test and find a bottom, right? So the hourly trigger comes up. We failed to get the new high, and I'm going to expect that to fail. Even if we get the new high, I'm going to still look for a new high on a bounce to get long, right? If I don't see that new high off a bounce on the hourly trigger and a back test, I ain't taking it. We'll look lower again. We have a second window in November. Where would that target be? We already know it, right? Just like looking at the days, right? You can see it. The month. Right here, right? Right down here, right? 6432. There's your weekly trigger. Not that much lower, is it? You can see it right here, right? So even if we fail this stuff over here, you're still looking for one more up. Not down, not crash, not Black Monday, not Black Friday, not Black anything. If anything, you're looking for something like that, right? Down here, maybe. There's your November. But to what end? Up. Vertical. There's no Black fucking Friday or Monday, or it's red and red and red and red. There's nothing saying that. Yeah, maybe there is. Trump can do that. If Trump continues on, we get trade war escalation. Yeah, I'd be paying attention. There's potential for it. But we can sell that down together, can't we? We won't get caught in that. There's no traps here. We start rolling and falling, we'll take the leg lower together. If the bottom shows a new high and everything comes down and picks it all up, I need you to get along with me into the end of the year. I do. You will be left behind, I assure you. Do not be left behind. Do not go max short. Be tactful. Max short looks like this. Max short is not here. Max short is when you break under the weekly trigger. And you get your new low. That's max short. It's like an 85% chance of printing. We can short max short this. We can max short that. You got to be like in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. And even then, you have not crossed the monthly. You need to do all that for a risk-off type event. The weekly needs to be chasing too. The daily needs to be chasing too. That's risk-off. That's like 6,000. We don't get real selling until 6,000. We don't get a liquidation event. You know, that's your crash. That's your bear market. Crash and bear market. This is your crash. This is your bear market. We're not even in a bear market yet. And most of the time when we're in a bear market, this monthly is way higher. There isn't this much stretch. Very rarely you see something like this. I want to show you 2021. Can you imagine being this guy over here and you're like, oh shit, daily trigger's crossing, I should get out. Okay, but I'm not going to get out. Didn't cross. My rules weren't met. So it blasts down and it comes back up. It blasts down and it comes back up. You were literally given an opportunity to exit twice. Can you imagine being the guy long from the beginning? All the way down there. You get the cross right here. And you're like, oh shit, I'm going to liquidate my position. There's the cross. And they still gave you a chance to get out. Can you imagine being like, fuck, I could have stepped off over there in April. God damn, fuck me. Because you're consuming shit crap on the news and CNBC and Bloomberg and fucking FinTwit, fucking Wall Street Bets and Reddit, our stocks, our day trader, our this, our that, stank twits, all of it. Rather than paying attention to your own investments and your own rules. Don't give a fuck about those people. Give a fuck about your investments. Don't give a fuck about some guy telling you that they're going to see you in the bottom. You go out on the weekend and you enjoy yourself. You don't consume that dog shit. The market will show you. The triggers will show you when it's time for risk off. The triggers will show you when you can start buying dips. And none of that yet. And then we went down here and it was real risk off, wasn't it? We ain't buying shit, boys. We're sellers now. Big time. So we got a lot of work ahead of ourselves if we're going to do anything like that. And we're not there yet. Not even close. We ain't there yet. And meanwhile, you're trying to sell the fucking hole on Friday close. I'm going to be rich on Monday. I'm going to smear bear shit on the walls. And now you're going to wake up on Monday morning and you're fucking broke. With real money. Or you don't have any fucking money and you're just lying your ass off. Or you're trying to sell some sizzle. Or you know what the fuck you're doing. It's one of those. I don't exactly know what it is, but it's definitely one of those. So for right now, what are we looking for? We'll do this with ES. Told you before to be watching out for this one here. You want to pay attention to these guys back here. Why? Because these are the original sellers. These are the original sellers on the September 17th buyers. Remember, on major inflections, the way is down or the way is up. If the way is not down on September 17th, it's up. And they back tested it. If the market hits that number right there, it's going vertical. Literal vertical. Straight up. I showed you the last example of that, right? It went vertical. So we know where the sellers are. We know where Marco is. Marco right here. Marco. That's Marco right there. You don't care about Marco. Fuck Marco. The only way we trade with Marco is now. We have the first down move. If Marco comes in and we drag ass or we reject and start making new lows under the hourly trigger, we'll join Marco. Hey, Marco, we're with you now. But we're not there right now. The buyers are here. So you got to wait to see if they're not committed or if Trump doesn't taco or if we falter or we start dragging ass, right? Bulls start to freak out. Anything like that? Sure. We're not there yet. So you're just looking for these three places right here. The daily trigger, the 4-hour trigger, and Marco. That's it. That's as simple as that. It is that simple. Now, I know a lot of you are looking for some kind of gotcha moment. You're going to pick the next one. No. We'll just reverse buying dips. Every time we come into the half-hour trigger and the hourly trigger, if I was to inverse this, I can do it right now. You going to do it? Hold on. I'll do it for you right now. Hold on here. Let's flip it. Flip vertical. Sweet. Check this out. Let's look at this another way. So this is an inverse chart. If you're a bull, you know what this means, right? This bulls know this, right? Here's your half-hour trigger. Here's your hourly trigger. Right, if we come down here, right, and start going like this, we know to take the long, right? Take the long, right? Or in this case, it'd be the short. But if you start to see the back test, or in this case, the up test, we come up here and slap this and start reversing, we know what? No bueno, right? So you would need to see what? You would need to see the failure of buyers, right? And begin to see the new low. Or in your case, if you're a bull, the new high. And then you would take that short to the downside, right? Or in this case, in inverse. We can do that. I have no problem doing that. It's pretty fairly easy to see. Maybe some of you bull buyer, Pavlov dog, zero date call mafia can't see it in the inverse, but I can. We'll teach you how to sell. I'll teach you how to buy a dip even in a bear market. So on the inverse, what are we looking for? We're looking for the buyers to take it up. We don't know if they're going to fail or not. But at any point, if they do fail and you start to see a series of new lows, we'll go downtown with it, won't we? We'll recheck the low. If we can break through it, we'll get in again. You'll have the half-an-hour trigger coming down, the hourly trigger coming down, and we'll sell it together. But just like that chart that I showed you on the inverse, shit doesn't go straight down. And shit doesn't go straight up. No, it doesn't go fucking down like this and then down like that. And no, we did not lose enough on fucking Friday to match any example in history of a Black Friday or a Black Monday. Those are people fucking either that are stupid or they're selling you something. Or they want you to believe something that's not true. Or they're selling you puts. We get the first down move. We need to confirm it. Then we'll look for that confirmation. If we get the confirmation, we'll start selling together. But until then, stop fucking consuming that garbage. It means nothing. You'll lose your money. So you're either fucking lying about having money and spending it on the market, or you're selling something, or you're fucking stupid. If you have money, you know that that was not the trade. You do not chase the fucking hole on Friday. You come back and you wait for the rejection of the new low and we take it lower. You do not consume garbage, shit, and crap. From socials, in the media, in CNBC, in Bloomberg. Let me ask you another question. Who do you think sold you those fucking puts? You think it was me? It was the prick that told you we're going to get Black Monday. When you fucking see those people out there, they sold you puts. Not me. Not the bull, not the buyer. Your bear friends. The people that you think are on your side sold you those puts. They figured you were a sucker. Do you like being a sucker? I don't. I don't like it. I can't count how many fucking times a bull has made me their sucker. I can't count how many times a bear and a doomer has made me their sucker as they sold me calls on highs and they sold me puts on lows. And they fucking laugh at you. And they laughed at me. Don't do it. There's no reason for you to do it. They eat you alive. And they used to eat me alive. Well, you think you're cool? I'm going to take all your money, man. It's going to crash over the weekend. Buy some puts. It's going to be amazing. Limit down on Monday, bro. It's gonna not stop limiting down until, I don't fucking know, Christmas, bro. Fuck your Christmas. How about I tactfully sell Christmas on a rejection higher, sir? Don't do that. Do it now. Why? Because you want to sell me puts. That's why. They're laughing all the way to the fucking bank. They're selling higher. And they haven't even sold higher yet. They're not going to start selling calls until there's a rejection higher. They will, but they ain't done it yet. They ain't going to do it. Not until it rejects. And then they will sell you calls. And they're going to tell you it's going to moon. Don't worry about it, bro. It's going to moon. And it's like starting over here, new lows, fail to get the new high. Bro, it's going moon. So all the bulls jump on board like the fucking bears are jumping on board over here on a Friday. Meanwhile, you're pointing higher and then they're selling, okay, buy some calls, bro. It's going up. And the same works on both sides. Same works both instances. If this fucking guy, if you see that pick up here, ding, that guy ain't selling calls to you. He's like, oh, fuck, I can't sell calls. I got to sell more puts on a back test to go higher. Think about that as an options seller. If you were an options seller, this is how you would view the market. But if you're just an option buyer, you probably, not all of you, but 70% of you have no fucking idea. So for right now, what are expectations? We're heading into tomorrow. The expectation is right about here. Right about where we are. Now, do we have new lows? No. Have we rejected? No. No, 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 no. So the way is higher to where? Right here. That's where it is. Those are your expectations. That's it. If we come up here and we begin to roll to the downside, we'll change them. And we'll take the short. If we start to fade and trade sideways, we'll take the short. If we come up here and squeeze up into 6,700 and start rolling and back testing, we'll take the short from here to here. But even then, you can't take it down below. And come right up here, come back down here, and then go higher, can't we? So it'll be like tactful in all these moves. If we come up here, roll it down, go back up here, go back up here and fail that, yeah, I would say just go max short. Get the new low, start taking it downtown, baby. New low over here, new low down there. But we're not there yet. We don't have taco time just yet. And you can go risk off in between these places too, can't you? You can take the long to right where we are. We get above it and bounce, catch a new high. You can take this long right here. Long again. Yay. The halfback trade for the way down is right here. So what we'll do is we'll lower this. We'll look for the sweep lower, and we'll look for that high. Something just like that. Now, we don't know if we're going to reject and go to the downside, but it's possible. And I don't think we stop there. If we reject here, we're going down. And where is down? Right back over here, right? Right where the weekly trigger is. Right down there. We're not there yet, are we? Because none of this has happened yet. Do you want to sell that? I'd say no. $17th. This shit could take all the way over to here, believe it or not. This shit could take all the way into November. Look at how much time there is. Maybe not that much time. This is fucking November. This is October 1st. This is November 1st, October 31st. There's a lot of time here, isn't there? There's a whole bunch of time for you to tee off. This is what it looks like right now. This is my expectation right now. Something like this. Now, I do think we break higher. And if we were to fail, it's down here. I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt to the sell side. But if you see us race higher, knock that one out, knock this one out, and you start to see that hourly trigger come back into play, right? Buy the hourly trigger. Buy the hourly trigger. If you see that new high on Marco and we backtest this hourly trigger, I'm going long there. Let's go. Party on again. Are you ready to do that with me? I want to know. Ordering go up here, make the new high, fuck around into OPEX and into Vixpiration. And you get some taco time and GTC. And all of a sudden, we're ramping up here, new high. You ready to go on that one with me or not? Are you too fucking consumed and sell? Because these are two likely outcomes as well. New information comes into market. Earnings are great. We get a taco time mixed in there. We can easily start running And you better be able to change your viewpoint from this outcome. I warn you right now. And even if you get this outcome, this isn't doom. This ain't doomish. There's your 695. There's your 7,000 right there. This is fucking December. So then what does this become? Buy the fucking dip, buy the fucking dip to go there. Your hourly trade, your weekly is supportive. So you're still looking up. So in all this big clusterfuck, where are you looking? Are you trying to buy dips? We're just given a bunch of new information. Even right now, worst case scenario is right there. I have no interest in selling this market. I would need to see something like this. And I would also need to see the daily trigger follow this. None of that's happened yet. Haven't seen that daily trigger coming down. Now, if you're down here, we get this price action here. We're rolling down here and we're rejecting. Look at all that time you're given to exit market. Meanwhile, they're telling you fucking crash over here. Nonsense. You're panicking, and you're literally given a chance to exit here, a chance to exit here, a chance to exit right here, all the same place. In hell, you're not even in risk off yet. That's risk off. That ain't risk off. That ain't risk off. That is risk off. This information is risk off. The daily trigger crossing the weekly trigger is risk off. We ain't fucking there yet. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? You're 5,800 down here. You're 6,000. You're oh my God, you're elevated fucking crashing. No, we can take that trade. We ain't there yet. You accelerated downside, bear market, all that nonsense. We ain't even there yet. You're literally consuming one fucking day and going, that's it. Market's dead. I'm max short. You're out of your fucking minds if you're thinking that. Now you can hedge it. Sure, hedge it. But a hedge isn't a trade, is it? It's insurance. It costs money. It's like home insurance or car insurance. Do you get home insurance and burn your house to the ground? Do you get car insurance and crash into a wall intentionally? No. Now you can put your hedge on here, here if you didn't already, here if you didn't already. If we fail to get that red bar, new high, I recommend that you hedge. Does that mean that you're chasing it all the way down? That's it? That's the top? No. You put your hedge on and we can trade this here all the way down. And if we catch the bounce and start going higher, so be it. We'll trade it. But if we start to stall over here and you got your hedge on, then we start getting fucking nasty. What are we doing now, Cap? We're putting on our bear caps, bro. Start growing your hair out. Stop shaving. Start buying weekly puts and daily puts and 0 date puts. 0 dates and weeklies and monthlies. Leave your hedge on. We'll take this shit down to the depths of hell together. Together. But we ain't there yet. So even the midterm outlook is what right now? Bullish. Short term's kind of ugly, right? And we don't have upside information yet, so we don't know. So I would say to you that short term, I don't know. We could easily start just moving. Bam, new high, off and running into the end of the year. I shit you not. You better be ready to take that trade if it says that we need to take it. You've been given an opportunity to buy a fucking dip already. You might get one more, or you might get left behind. My midterm and long-term outlook is what? Bullish. We don't have that yet. That's all we got. And we don't even know if that's going to be needed. That looked pretty bullish to me. You're literally one tweet away. I want to warn you something. You are one tweet away, one, from back on track to the upside. Oh, I got another meeting with Z again in 2 weeks. Me, Z, and Huang were sucking each other off. You're going to get fucking annihilated. Because you've taken the short at the wrong place and time. You're not being tactful. You're not in by the dip. You're in sell the rip. Shouldn't be in sell the rip right now. You're in buy the dip. If we reject and we don't get a taco time, then yeah, we'll start switching to sell the rip. We're not there yet. It's that simple. Then you are one tweet away from getting annihilated. And I mean annihilated. And you remember all those people that are talking about how we're going to crash. Where do they go? Do they disappear? Do they hide somewhere? Were they not short? They were just talking about it? Oh, did they close and not tell you on Friday? They sure as shit weren't doing that on fucking YouTube and FinTwit. They were masturbating as far as I can see. Were you chasing the hole on Friday based upon that shit? Oof. So the way is higher. Here's Wednesday, close. Or let's do Thursday, close. I'd like to still see this sweep lower. But that kind of strength, I don't know when we see it. And remember this hourly trigger here. If you get above here, we're going to change the outlook to uppies only. There is some potential here for this right here. Hold on here. If we do it now, we don't need that. We don't save the back test over here. I will say this to you. I don't like the stalling. If you see the stalling trade, like come up here, back test this bullshit early, I don't like it. I would prefer to see the break higher, smash that now, grind, and then smash this one. If at any point you see a new high, though, we're going to change this outlook down into the end of the month. And if you're looking to sell the end of this month, it's more than likely, if you want to know where it really is, if you're going to sell the end of the month, it's a failure of 6754. Like to a tick. If there was like, hey, let's do it, let's sell it, but you still need the new low too. So if it's like this, like this, and we fail it and get underneath it, underneath that prior support, then you're Johnny on the spot to sell it down. That's where I think it is. 90% chance. It's probably 6745 with a new low from a prior support. So we're not there yet. So if you're on sell side, the way is higher. Price target 6745. And if we reject earlier, and you know how to get in and out here, right? You already know to go to, it's the same in the inverse. You take the trade from mark bottom to first resistance. If we begin to roll, you're looking to buy the dip here, right? To trade this next resistance, right? What we're doing, right? You're likely looking at right here to sell it. I don't think it sells, to be honest with you. If you want my truth, what I think here, I think this was an opportunity to get long into the end of the quarter. And I can't guarantee you that you're going to get another long lower. You might catch one more right here. 6618. For those of you that are thinking, yeah, we could probably get down here, maybe. But I don't think that this fucking guy getting long in here cares about you getting long down there. If you're trying to min-max, sure, but I don't think this matters. You're putting like December 31st, February, March OPEX prints on these. Like you're being given the chance right now. Sorry about that. But you're given the chance right now to get long, get hedged. And if your viewpoint is crash, I'm sorry, I don't see it. Still, don't see it. All I see is mechanics of getting long. I'm going to laugh my ass off if we come back and find out the Senate bought Friday close. On Sunday, October 12th, Nancy Pelosi got long. They don't release that information for another week or two. Color me surprised. Opportunity to hedge. Opportunity to long. Way is higher unless we start breaking through the weekly trigger with the daily trigger chasing price. Not price. Price and the daily trigger crossing through the weekly. This is all Q4 expected. And you got a deal. This looks like up to me. And you now have a marked bottom. It looks kind of nice, doesn't it? Nice little inflection points, huh? Nice little inflection point now here. You kind of know what we need to do. More information for your plan. Stay the fuck away from those people on the internet. Fuck internet points. You're here to make money. I'm going to draw this better for you here. That's a dotted edge. That's a solid one. That's a solid one. So ready? Buy, buy, buy. B-U-I. Not bye-bye. And this we don't know yet. And that's a fucking buy right there. So buy it, buy it, buy it. Wait for Marco. If we fail Marco, your next buy is right here. If we break above Marco, oh, sorry, bro. That's going to be a solid line. That's going to be a dotted line. That's going to be a dotted line. And that's going to be a solid line. Stay away from the fucking crackheads. Stay away from the fucking selling or the sizzle sellers. Stay away from the sub sellers. Stay away from the doom sellers. Be ready to buy dips when they present themselves. Yes, trading into its half-hour trigger. Peek at it right now. So what are you here? What time is it right now? Hey, what time is it? It's 9:30, baby. What happens with the Europeans? They don't buy or sell shit till 9:30, do they? And we got another one over here. What time? 2:30 in the morning, right? This is the same as New York cash market. You can look at 2 a.m., but I don't like 2 a.m. I always find the Europeans and the Asians to be cheap as fuck. They do a better job than you in cash market, in New York cash market. Sometimes you'll see a quick tip up here and then a fade. And you'll see them pick it back up again at 2:30, right? Sweep down here and they'll pick it back up again. Europeans will pick this up. They'll run this up into what? New York cash market, right? Let's draw this again. So here is what time? Monday at, hold on, let's go back to an hour. So this is Monday, 10 a.m., right? Whoop. Even draw that up there, can't we? There's your 4 hour. And even in here, you have this, right? Up, ticket, swoop down for 2 a.m., 2:30, I should say. And then right here, right? You're going to be looking for something just like that. So you're going to watch this trade overnight. It's going to go right here. fade down 230. I guarantee you that Europeans are going to be looking for that buy. They're going to run that shit right up to you to 10 a.m. And we don't know what's going to happen in cash market tomorrow, do we? You know they're going to try to sell it down, right? There's your half-hour trigger, right? Hourly trigger, 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. They could ramp this fucker up right at 12 tomorrow. We could literally run over the bears tomorrow by 12 p.m. If we don't and we stall, I'd be afraid. I don't like seeing stalling behavior. There's 12. This is a dotted line. We don't know if they're going to sell. But if they do and they come back in and buy this shit, 10 a.m. on Tuesday, 12 p.m. on Tuesday, maybe we get the actual high there. You see how this stuff works itself out, market to market, not mark to market. What else happens here? Asians tip their wick, tell euros, come on in, bro, buy it. Or Asians push it up, and then it fades down, and they buy it. That's really bullish, ain't it? Because they're going to want this one, maybe not that one, but they're going to want it to like right here more than likely. Euros come in again, fail that new high where Marco is. So we'll watch this closely tomorrow. Look at it together. Let's see what's going on. I bet you we green bar it up here. Well, they got the tick already. They don't even need it here. You can see it right there. But fuck them right there for a minute, right? Asians go to sleep. It's like, hey, yeah, it's awesome, man. Check it out. I want to sell up here. Pivot points right here. S1. I mean R1, guess where it is? Guess where R1 is? Up here. That's where Marco is. There's some danger in here, right? Danger there, danger there. So let's say we come in right now and we break above with a new high. You can take that right now at 9:30 tonight. You need to get the high above the 30-minute. Your next target will be right here, 671475. I think that'd be comical, but I don't think you're going to get it done. Probably going to need the euros to come in and help out in the morning. I'll see you in the morning. I really, really, really want to tell you something. I'm going to be right more than I'm wrong. I always have, and I'm getting better at it as the years pass. That close on yesterday, on Friday, and then the consuming of the diarrhea all weekend, it does nothing but poison your mind. Don't do it. I don't do it anymore. I went out this weekend and had a fucking blast. Spent it with my kids, my family, friends. It eats you in the inside if you're a new trader, a young trader. and you don't know what the other side is actually doing. They're trying to sell subscriptions. They're trying to capitalize on fear. They go on Twitter on the weekends and they tell you it's going to crash for more subs. And meanwhile, you're a serious investor. And you need to know what the truth is, and it's not that. And if you're a seller, it's not that either. You need to be tactful and make money. You can't be selling the fucking holes on Fridays. There's always another trade. And if you're a bear, how many times have you heard me say that to the bulls? How many times I scream it at them? Stop, man. Just buy the fucking dip on the fucking half hour and the hour. The same thing goes for you if you're sell side. If we're blasting down and you think you're missing out, there's FOMO bear too. You got to be tactful. I say this to bulls. If we enter an actual crash or an actual bear market, I'm going to yell at you on sell side like I yell at fucking bulls. So what the fuck are you doing? Well, it's crashing right. I don't care. Sell the half in the fucking in the hour, man. Sell the daily. Like sell the daily trigger. Sell the hourly. Sell the half hour. It's the same fucking shit. Hate the fact that I got to switch at some point. You know, it's inevitable. At some point, we're going to have a bear market or a crash. But when we do that, I'm going to have to yell at you like I yelled at the bulls. Then I got to go start yelling at bears and saying, what the fuck are you doing? Don't chase the hole. And even if the hole is like, you know, blast down in the depths of hell, there's other things that make that real. If we begin to reject highs on the half an hour, the hour, or Marco, and we start to break support on an hourly and 4-hour basis, then yes, chase the hole. We're going to the depths of hell. We haven't done that yet. They could whipsaw your ass over here for like a week or two. You could be waiting for like fucking OPEX. You could be waiting for fucking Vixpiration. And the real sell comes higher. We start rejecting up there, I'll sell with you. I will. I'm with you. I'll sell with you. We'll make a bunch of fucking money.